Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to your reading. Thank you for your patience, by the way. Move some stuff away here. So let's go ahead and reset my timer. Okay, let's jump right into the swimming pool, the vast ocean of astrology. So we have a youngin from Sweden, 1997. I love when I have yes, that's students, but clients of your age. It's very cool, especially the fact that me and you have a lot in common. I'm 7 years older than you. I mean, you're not that young. Come on, you're what? You're 20 what? 25 or something. It's not alcohol. It's kombucha. FYI. Interesting. I was just talking about 0 degrees. So you have a 0 degree Leo sun. You have Venus on Regulus. Damn. So that's another reason that you're probably attracted to me, like as an astrologer. We have a lot in common. And you're also, you have a lot of Leo, like me. You have more Leo than me, actually. Very Leo chart. Wow. So, okay. First of all, let's start just with the obvious. This is going to be a really easy reading for me. I always say that, and then it's like the hardest ones. That happened the other day. I was like, this is going to be easy, and it was just like super intense. Took me forever. But I'm looking first before I share the screen. I'm looking for wow, yeah, it's a very, very close. I don't know if you do anything creative, but if you have any type of creativity within you, which I think is a huge part of your chart, I know you're creative because you're Pisces moon, Venus Regulus. I would honestly push that to the limit because there could be potential fame from your creativity. I'm not even joking. You have Venus Regulus. Regulus, got that shit tattooed because my ascendant is Regulus. But your Venus is even closer to Regulus than my ascendant is. So, and then you have Mars and Libra. You have everything for an artist. Holy shit. All the Leo, which is the creator. Pisces moon, which is like the amazing imagination. Let's see if there's anything holding you back. Because you are young, but it's cool that you're into astrology. I know nothing about you, by the way. I purposely don't look at a single photo. You're just a name and a birth date for me right now. And I do that on purpose because I give readings the same way to you. I just finished a reading for someone born probably, I think, in 74. And maybe I changed my verbiage a tiny bit, but it's the same thing, you know? Maybe for you, it's like stuff that you can do, because like I imagine that like you haven't been through marriage. Maybe you have, though. Who the fuck knows? But yeah, so I always do them. I always do them like that for a reason because I don't want to cheat. I don't want to see an Instagram photo that gives me an idea about someone and blah 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 blah. I want to keep it very objective because I find that to be very interesting. And most astrologers, they don't do that. Not talking shit. I'm just saying. I feel like they, it's just different styles. Maybe it's my ego. Being like, I can, like, check this out. I can do this with every single reading, not know anything about them besides their birth information, and everything's gonna be correct. Not everything. That's why you scheduled a follow up, right? I'm pretty sure. Let me check my list. I hope you scheduled a follow up. If not, you have to. I'm just joking, but you should. Let me see. Oh no, you didn't. William Martins. You did not. Oh wait, that's it. Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, because you brought up my website probably. Yeah. So just so you know, 95, 96, 97, who knows what percent, it's up there. It's pretty much everyone. they schedule a follow-up session. Essentially, this reading is going to give you a bunch of information about yourself. You should, you'll have this reading forever. You can watch it in 5 years and be like, holy shit, this is trippy. I've done that before. It is really, really trippy to see the change and kind of all that stuff. But the follow-up is kind of how we compare what's said here, because this is a channel, what I do. I'm channeling. Not like channeling, like I'm speaking from a place of intuition. Like, I don't give a shit. I'm in my own apartment. I'm saying whatever the fuck I want, And the follow-up is a live scheduled session where I would give you a way better price. I would allow you to have it for 100 instead of 150. Actually, screw that. 90. I'll give you 90 US dollars. Just remind me I told you 90. And yeah, there's no pressure, obviously. Like I kind of like to let people who just purchase the reading know how I operate, like before I really dive into things. But basically, like most people get this reading first, then they either get the reading and the follow-up together, but they usually get both. So the reading, you watch it, take notes, whatever, watch it a few times, all that. I suggest like watching it the first time with no notes, and then definitely taking notes. And then we schedule a live follow-up either on Zoom or over the phone, talk about everything, and then after that, most people do what's known as a current astrology reading, and that's it. I offer other readings too. I offer compatibility, relationship stuff, astrocartography, which is how different geographic locations affect you have different energies in different places. You have hot spots, cold spots, and that's I do that. Counseling, I do a lot of stuff. I teach astrology one-on-one, but overall, the three most important, the big trio is reading, follow-up, current astrology. The current astrology you get done once a year. The reading you get done once a life. You'll never need to get this done again unless you want to hear another astrologer's approach to it. But the current astrology is basically what's happening right now for you and how your chart, that one's a live reading. I've completely revamped how I do that one, and I am always happy to give a very good price for people who, like are returning. Actually, I only allow that reading for people who do their birth chart first. It's like a rule of mine. And it's live on Zoom. That one's definitely on Zoom. And we just talk about like how the current astrology, like what you can expect over the next like year or so. The main transits, the solar return, lots of predictive astrology techniques that I've mastered over the years. So yeah. Okay. So diving in. So we have a moon in Pisces, which is my sun sign, and sun in Leo, which is my rising. And then your rising is also Leo. So you're just like me. No wonder. Now, there's a huge discrepancy between these two signs. Now, let me explain. Let me break this down to you. Leo is a masculine sign. It is active. It's a fire sign. It's fixed. It goes after what it wants. It's passionate. It's outgoing. It's friendly. It's gregarious. It likes to make people laugh. It's creative. It's all about being authentic, being its own person. You got your Black Moon Lilith there also, so you've got to watch out for being too Leo, where you're just like, it's in the first house also. Too Leo would be like not being a narcissist, but being narcissistic, thinking too much about me, not enough about we. And your South Node is another, wow. This astrology stuff. Okay, I know there's someone who commented who watches all my readings. How many times have I said this? I just did a reading with a South Node in Pisces. That's so crazy that you guys both have the South Node in Pisces. Wow, interesting. Very interesting. So Leo so this is what, you know, I do therapy, I do astrological counseling. I have 2 master's degrees in psychology, and basically there's something in psychology called a split, right? A split is essentially where you basically have 2 parts of your personality that conflict, essentially, right? And you know, through astrology or therapy or whatever, you know, you learn to get them to work together. Now, the split between Leo and Pisces, so Pisces moon, which I just wrote an article on my I have 2 Instagram pages now. You should follow my Jesse Niston Astro remix. It's just Jesse Niston Astro with remix at the end. I'm taking like a break from my main account, which I assume is where you found me, Jesse Niston Astro. I don't think I have your Instagram. I don't think we talked, did we? But 1 second. Yeah. You should follow me there and message me just like on both of them, but on Jesse Niston Astro remix. You should message me there just so I have you. But as I was saying, you know, like this Pisces part of you, right, is dominated. So you have a very similar, this is like really similar. This is very close to home. Like the split, right? So there's a Pisces part, which is a super sensitive soul, right? Very, like, you are someone who is a creative potential genius. You never know. What aspects does it make? Unaspected moon. Damn. So yeah, your Pisces moon is allowed to just fucking go and just flow. Pisces moon is the escape artist. It likes to escape into a better reality. I don't know if you're involved in music. I get this sense that you might be a musician, or at least have that in your blood. Definitely have it. But then it really depends. That's why the follow-up is so important, because it really depends. You know, this is the hand you were dealt. The follow-up deals with how you have used your free will, right? So you have so much fire in your chart. You have Sun, Ascendant, Venus, Mercury. That's 4 of the 6 personal planets. The one that the 6, you know, they're called personal planets in astrology, but the 6, you know, the big 6, right, that rule conscious parts of our personality. The other 2 are Mars in Libra and Moon in Pisces. So very interesting, right, is that the fire first, and it's in the first house, which is the house of Aries. I haven't even shown you your chart yet. This whole time I thought I was sharing the screen. And I can't maximize it for some reason. It's being really freaking annoying. 1 sec. So yeah, so all this Leo in the first house, right? Crazy. So much firepower, like an assertive person, someone who just like likes to shine, is fun. They, you know, Leo's also very sensitive though. Like Leo, like it can be, you know, but very brave, very courageous, heart of the lion. But then there's a soft side. So for you, it's like, how do you find that balance between that Leo-ness, which I don't have to tell you more about Leo because you probably read enough about your sun sign. But let me tell you about your Pisces moon. Your Pisces moon is, let's just say, with Scorpio moon and Cancer moon, the most sensitive moon signs in all astrology. Maybe the most. Definitely the most sensitive when it comes to other people's energy. So you need to spend a lot of time alone, right? But when you're so Leo, you can be so social that you can constantly be around other people. And of course, we'll see what aspects are playing, because there can be some aspects. And I do see your sun is opposing Uranus and Neptune, squaring Chiron, Mercury square Jupiter. Okay, Venus square. Whoa, you have, damn, bro, you got what I have. Venus square Pluto. Oof. Do I have a message for you? That's crazy. That's crazy. That's such a, you know, in life, you know, I don't know how spiritual you are, but there's things called synchronicities, you know, and when I see all that we have in common, you know, I'm an older version of you. In a sense, we're different, but like we have a lot in common, and I'm going to be able to give you a lot of my own experience in this reading, because I know what it feels like to have Venus square Pluto. Fuck that. But it gets better. That's I'll talk about that one later. But basically, it's really to like relationships and love, and how extremely strong love is expressed, and I'll go more into it. But anyways, so the moon in Pisces part of you, it demands, the moon is basically the part in astrology that without following it, you can't be happy. It's the feminine, it's like your core, it's what makes you comfortable, what makes you secure in your own body, in your own self. Like it's what you need, right? Like the sun sign is more about like the core essence of who you are, like what you're striving for in life, like what you, like kind of how you shine, you know, you shine as a Leo. But like you're not always shining. No one's ever always shining, right? So moon in the 8th house in Pisces means that even though you're meant to be this kind of, and when I say the word superstar, I mean I'm saying it in a way that's like relative, right? I'm saying like, I'm not saying that in like this like the social like current consensus world view, like a Chris Brown or some shit like that or whatever, you know, like, but this is like superstar energy, right? But there is a huge need for you to be very careful with who you surround yourself with, because you're extremely sensitive to subtle energies and also environments, not just people, places. So where you live is important too. Where you live is important. So if you're ever thinking about moving, I highly suggest doing a astrocartography reading. Like for me, I grew up on one of the, like, it's like astrocartography is like the whole world with lots of lines. The lines represent planets. I grew up on Pluto IC, the worst of all lines. And goddamn, like now I live in Romania, and I lived here for like close to 4 years. And you know, I live, and I didn't plan my move like based on astrocartography, but I went from living on like a Pluto IC line, one of the most difficult lines to live on, to Jupiter moon ascendant, and then kind of close to Jupiter descendant. So in my life, you know, I love this country a lot more than I love the US, you know, or even France, but like still, like my life has been way better. But anyways, back to what I was talking about. So where you live, like who you surround yourself with, but you also have to be careful in relationships, right? Now, the reason I say that is because Pisces moons can be a little bit rose-colored glasses when it comes to love. They can, you know, kind of see the potential in someone, not necessarily what they're really about. And the fact that you have Venus square Pluto, which is wild, and I have that too, right? Because just to tell you a little bit about my chart is that I'm a rising in Leo, a Sagittarius moon, but it's in the 5th house of Leo. So it's kind of like there's a Leo vibe to my moon too. My south node's in Leo, like who I want, like my past life tendency, right? And I'm a 28-degree Pisces sun. So my sun is like very close to being Aries, and Mercury's right there too. And then I have Aquarius, Venus, and Mars. So it's not too different from yours. And then I have Venus square Pluto, like you do. So but yeah, I mean, the first step, like before getting into that though, is just understanding that split. And like when we hopefully do our follow up, I hope that you know that we're able to speak. I definitely want to know about how, you know, like how you've done that. Like I'll give you some ideas. Making sure that you have boundaries with people, especially like in relationships with friends, with, you know, like I always like with partners, right? Like that's super important, right? Because Pisces moon can lack boundaries sometimes. My cat just arrived. So that's huge. And spending alone time, you'll really know a lot about the people you're with when you have spent time with them, and then you say, okay, I'm going to leave, and you go by yourself and you meditate, and you get deep into that mystical past life, South Node in Pisces, meaning that you've been this mystical being, like person, right? In past lives, right? Tapping into these talents, right? You have these hidden talents related to mysticism, the occult. Meditation is the highest thing I can ever suggest you do if you've done it. I don't know if you have anything about you, but meditate and then feel into your own energy. Get to understand what your energy is, and that'll be your greatest. That'll be the way that you can have the highest energy of your chart, is by through meditating, through learning to express yourself, or getting better at authentically expressing yourself, which your whole chart, Pluto in the fifth, everything's asking for you to do authentic self-expression, right? And I think that's why you have this chart in this lifetime, is because I feel like it's been, where's your South Node? Yeah, I feel like you've been kind of held back from truly expressing like what's just you. And this life, it's like you're really meant to take like a creative risk on yourself. So yeah, like really, when it comes to people, as I was saying, like taking a step back and really understand, like understanding what your energy is, and then you'll know, like, let's say when someone comes around with like a who's like maybe a low-key energy vampire, you'll know because you'll feel that within yourself. These are things that you have many, and I don't know anything about you, but you're young, so I'm just making an assumption it could be very wrong. That you have a lot that you still haven't discovered that's latent. I didn't discover astrology till I was like 25, I think, right? Like that or like really get into it. So, things come at different stages, right? So stay open, and really, I'm gonna show my face again. Like the world's changing, and I don't know if it doesn't even matter what your sexual orientation is, like, because I don't know anything about you. I'd say probably like a third of my like male clients are gay, which obviously totally cool. Like it's the only reason I'm bringing it up is because basically, like, as a gay man, right, having a Pisces moon, because okay, I'm kind of stereotyping there, but let's say, like, it doesn't really matter about orientation, but let kind of, okay, it's someone who's in touch with their feminine side openly, right? Most gay men that I've met through my practice in real life, they are open to their feminine side, right? They're able to talk about their emotions. They're not hiding from shit. But if you're straight, right, having a Pisces moon can be difficult with all the rest of your chart, because there can be that pressure because you'll be a lot more sensitive than most of the people around you. So it's important to find like really like it's very, if I did your chart, as if you were a kid and your mom had me do your chart, I would be like, make this kid do music, or like some kind of figure out like what, like really just like figure out what he's good at creatively, because he has so much creative potential. But yeah, the moon in Pisces, definitely in the 8th house too. It's talking about how you're here to really transform. So you're gonna have dramatic, like intense experiences. And let's see. Yeah, intense experiences where you might really come to face to face with your shadow. And these are going to force you to go through these like emotional maturations. And it might be difficult to keep the same friends, to stay in the same place. You might look back at different phases of your life and be like, who the fuck was that? Was that an actor or was that me? This is trippy. Because I have an 8th house sun, and 8th house people, that's kind of how it is. But yeah, so that's the biggest part of this chart, is that split, and making sure that you don't just let the Leo part of you rule everything in your life. The Pisces side, it needs to be emotional. In relationships, you'll be very sensitive too. So you'll definitely want someone who kind of understands that, like, both sides of you, understands the split, which you might not even understand, because the moon is hidden, it's unconscious. So that's super important, right? So because, like, I know for me, when I was like younger and stuff, I would date girls who liked either like one of my two sides, but not both, usually, right? So like they would like the Leo, Sag, fun side, but then the Pisces more sensitive side, it didn't work, And then there'd be the opposite, where it'd be like, they like the Pisces side, but it was usually the Sag Leo side, I think. Actually, I don't really remember. Yeah, definitely more the Sag Leo side. But no, actually that's not true. It's probably 50-50. But anyways, being able to integrate both is extremely important and extremely difficult. So doing things like meditating, different spiritual practices, learning, about things like astrology, whatever it is that's interesting to you. I do like affordable one-on-one classes for this too. I know it sounds like I'm like selling everything, but I just let people know what I do intuitively. Like some readings, I don't say like a word about like other services I offer, but some readings I explain all of them. It's just pure intuition, But yeah, just like my advice to you is to explore things. Just explore places. And you have Saturn in the 9th house, which might kind of block some of that. At least until you're around 30, that it could kind of block some of like the big travels that you might want to do. But this is interesting what I just said before that, though, because it would be Saturn in the 10th house in Pisces. But basically, Saturn in the 9th house, many astrologers have this. I'm being serious. So it's funny, I just said that about the astrology thing, and then I see you have Saturn in the 9th house. It's kind of cool. But yeah, so that's huge. Just like with the whole split. You have Leo sun and rising. So the sun, and in my system, is I use whole signs, so it's still in the 1st house, but in the Placid would be in the 12th house. But I'm a whole sign astrologer, so that's what I do. Very adventurous person, someone who really is trying to make a mark on the world and on their on the people around them. And you start things like boom, 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 very exciting energy, very fiery. But sometimes when there's too much fire, what I've noticed is that people, especially young people I've met from like your generation or even mine, like they can be big like weed smokers. I've noticed that about people with a lot of fire, if they don't have that physical outlet. So you as a Leo 1st house, you definitely need a physical outlet, because your sun, my friend, has some aspects going on. Opposite Uranus and Neptune, square Chiron. So basically, I'll share again. I have no idea what you know about astrology or not, but still, it's good for you to see this. So these planets here, Uranus, Neptune, they're opposite 180 degrees the sun. Now, the one that's more important is the one that's They're of equal importance, because this one's 2 degrees away, this one's in the opposite sign. But yeah, basically with Sun opposite Uranus, you know, you may have issues when it comes to, you might be like so rebellious that it might be to a detriment. Like you might really have issues with, I guess we could say issues with like people, more traditional people. And you might have had an kind of like original, unconventional upbringing. But yeah, basically, you know, like first house Leo Sun, there's like a lot of like someone who likes a lot of attention, right? And with your moon in Pisces, it's someone who needs a lot of love and a lot of like emotional attention from the parents and from like in relationships and stuff, right? So there's 2 different types of attention. So with the Uranus, it can kind of make someone act out in order to get that attention at times, right? But there's also a higher energy of it, because you know, Sun in your first house Sun, it's going to be make someone very, very independent. But you know, with Uranus there and Neptune opposite the Sun, there's going to be, you know, things in the way, right, of you expressing that full Leo, right? That full Leo, like your moon in Pisces, it's just free range. There's no aspect. It's an unaspected moon. So you're able to be super creative and express your emotions. I mean, Mercury is, yeah. So like emotional expression, it shouldn't be that hard for you. You should be able to like really dip into that Pisces moon, even though it's in the 8th house. But the whole point of it is, you know, is to go through the death, rebirth, transformation, snake shedding the skin. So really, like, yeah, like so important who you surround yourself with. I'm going to restate that. But your Sun is kept in check. Your Sun is kept in check by these 2 planets. You know, with Uranus, it's definitely 1 second. It can make someone very erratic, very rash, very impulsive. And there can be also a level of like nervousness. And in relationships, it can kind of make one, even though Sun, I don't really talk that much about relationships, but it can just, like in all relationships, make you kind of like seek out like the new and shiny, right? And it can make you rebellious to where like it's like you like when you're just like doing like the rebellious thing just to do it, not necessarily because it's good or bad. But you're ultra independent, and you're probably like, you know, like you probably are someone who like really, I don't know, when you moved out or like whatever your whole life situation is, but you're probably someone who like really wanted to like get life started early. Although the Pisces moon is kind of like, I don't know, but yeah, the Leo part definitely wants that. So then, you know, with Neptune there, that can kind of create like a vagueness and a vagueness of your mind. It can also make you really susceptible to like liars and to energy vampires and to deceit, to being like, yeah, to deceit basically, right? And yeah, there can really be this fog that can kind of come across the mind, and it can make it difficult for you to really see that Leo and to sense that Leo in yourself. But if it's channeled into creativity, then it's a superpower, right? And it can be all about like, you know, good imagination, artistic potential, and with the Uranus, it can be like literal, just like pioneering, like kind of like genius energy, So yeah, but yeah, besides that, with the Neptune, definitely like, yeah, it can kind of, even though it's not the moon, it can still make the, I'm gonna show my face again. It can still like make like kind of unbalance the emotions. So yeah, it's not the easiest one to have. And then the Chiron square sun, that, and this is the sun typically refers to the father. So I feel like like, if this is the case, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes the mother is the sun and the dad is the moon. It's just whoever the most dominant parent was is usually the son. But it would indicate you have really, really like strong karma with your moon, which is probably your mom, and more difficult karma with your dad. Not like so unbearably difficult like this chart I did the other day. But it could be difficult, right? So yeah, I mean the Chiron, it just speaks about like kind of pain. And what house is it in? It's in Libra, third house. Yeah, so that's about like early childhood pain. You have Mars there too. It's on the other side I see, so it's like kind of like yeah, interesting. That's very interesting. But yeah, like, I mean, a lot of times I would look at that and I would say, okay, like there's probably like some difficulty in childhood. With Mars so close to IC, maybe the parents aren't getting along because Leo is so different than Pisces, that it's just like, those represent the parents. They could just be such different people, right? So maybe they're divorced, not really sure. But yeah, like definitely some pain that came from whatever happened early on that has to get resolved. And it's in Libra, so that kind of makes me think that it comes out in relationships, this pain. And it has to do with like an imbalance, right? And we'll go into the Venus square Pluto, right? But this is just like another clue that you may have suffered you may have suffered in some way, like with one of your parents, like in an early relationship, early parental relationship. And it makes you learn a lot through relationships. A lot of people that have this kind of place thing, they end up being counselors or psychologists or healers, or like people who are here to help other people, because they go through shit themselves, and that's what pushes them into like being like, wow, I want to like learn about psychology. And your 8th house moon in Pisces is like very, very like interested in things like psychology and astrology, and like the mysteries of life, even like the underground, like things like the mafia, and like like just truth, like getting to the truth, like the real truth, the underground stuff is very interesting to you. The mysteries of life, like I always think of it like the gates to the unknown that most people are so afraid of. To you, it's just like you're naturally, because you're South node's your past life tendency, right? In Pisces, you're just like naturally, you just get it. You're like, whatever, fuck it, it's not a big deal. So yeah. In third house Chiron, that there could be some issues if you have siblings. I'm not sure if you have siblings, if there's any like difficulty with them. But the early, there could have been issues with like the early, because you have a 0-degree sun, right? So a 0-degree sun is basically like a very raw energy. So it's like karmically, you're like taking the initial steps, right? And like 0 and 29 degrees are like, what's the word? Energetic, is that it? Anoretic degree, I think, right? Yeah. So, one second. Yeah, okay. So I'm looking for something. Yeah, okay. So basically like this, like having a 0 degree sun in astrology in whatever sign in Leo is that essentially it's new karma for you. That's the best way to put it, right? So it's like you're starting a new beginning with that energy, like from a karmic perspective, right? And you've completed a cycle of reincarnations that you're entering a new cycle. But because it's a new cycle, it's a very raw energy. And what can happen is that early on, you know, you could have really like there is this energy like starting over, right? But early on, like more, it can kind of perform at, like, even though it's not like it's not in it's in the 12th house Placidus. In my system, it's in the first house, but it still acts like a 12th house energy because it can be early on kind of pushed around by more strong energies until it becomes a superpower, right? It's just a very raw energy. So even though it's in a strong sign like Leo, that can still happen. So, one second, I'm looking for something. Yeah, so it can kind of like be like someone who is just like always embarking on new adventures, always trying new things, but like sometimes like taking too many risks, you know, and lots of trial and error. Very youthful energy, right? But it's not like it's the opposite of like having a 29 degree Leo sun, where it's like, you know, and you have a 29 degree Leo Venus, which is interesting, which is super interesting because that's like speaking about how you're like the karma with respect, you're like coming to like the end of your karma of like a karmic cycle with respect to your love life, but then like the beginning with like the sun Leo. But anyways, yeah, it's just like yeah, very youthful energy, very enthusiastic. And it takes a while to get it right, right? So there can be this like recklessness and daredevil energy to it, and that's like with the opposition of Uranus also. So with age, you're probably at the point where it's probably become like a strong part, a strong point. But maybe like when you're growing up, it was like, you know, extreme. So let's see. Yeah, so it can go to extremes and not consider safety. So you have to definitely watch out for that. And that can be, yeah, like kind of like the energy of it. But yeah, with the sun, it gives like a fresh karmic start with like career, overall mission, like vocation. leadership, just like what you're meant to do, essentially. Now, the ascendant, so your chart is ruled by that sun. So at 8 degrees, right? Leo rising, I'm a Leo rising. It's just like, it basically like you are what you see, but it's not really like that for you though, because like your Pisces side, no one sees that about you unless they know you super well. And you might even like, it might even be something you hide. Who knows? Like, I don't know you, I know a lot of people with charts like this who, they hide that side of themselves. They toughen up, they don't like allow that side. But I'm telling you, it's like, it's better to just like, to lean into like what naturally interests you, because you might have like a really intense talent in like astrology or psychology or something that whatever, and let me tell you, when you become my age, like I'm 32, just turned 32, no one gives a fuck about like what you're doing, like you don't speak to the same people you think you thought you were going to speak to. Like either you and so many people, they go to these, like I could have done whatever I want. I could have done like real estate. I could have made a ton of money. I could have like gone a million different paths, but I chose this because I knew that this is what makes me happy. This is what I was passionate about, and it doesn't feel like work. I'm having fun right now, and that's my advice to you, is try different things. You'll never know till you actually really try different things. So I'm gonna get to relationships, but yeah, like Pisces moon. Just very curious, like how much you've dipped into that. Okay, more with the Leo stuff. Black moon Lilith conjunct, Mercury and Leo. I mean that's just like that's funny. It makes me laugh because I just imagine like Black moon Lilith conjunct in Leo conjunct Mercury being an energy of someone who just fucking says shit, very blunt. Maybe even, and it's not. Remember, did my camera just go out? What the fuck? Hold on. Okay, so Leo isn't always arrogant. And Black moon Lilith, it's not a part of your chart. That's like, it's not an actual part of your chart. It's just a possibility, right? So, what the fuck was my camera? Shirt's all fucked up. Anyways, in essence, I feel like, yeah. So with that energy, like it can just make you like you have to watch out for being like narcissistic with the shit you say. That's just kind of how it is for Leo. Like like at your lowest, you can be a little bit cocky, probably, like when you're in your lowest vibe. But Black moon Lilith, like I said, it's not necessarily something that actually exists in your life. It's just like I have mine in Scorpio. It only really comes out when I'm like in a low vibration, right? And then I get all fucking scorpionic and I destroy everyone. Joking. But in Leo, it's definitely based on like kind of the lower vibe of Leo, right? There might be also something where you think that you're the one that's like giving, and not getting anything back when really it's the opposite. But Leo, one thing about Leo also is it's very honest. It's a very forthright, energy. So, Mercury in Leo is a very honest Mercury sign, right? I'll flash the chart again. So, Mercury and Leo, right? So Mercury and Leo is very, it will make one very honest and very proud of like what they know. But at the same time, they can be, with the Black and Lilith there can be a little bit of just kind of like stubbornness in terms of how you like your knowledge. And I wrote a book. It's called Pisces Live Nine Lives. I highly recommend getting it if you resonate with me as a person, because me and you have so much in common. It's on Amazon. I would literally give you one if you lived in my city. I don't give a shit, but yeah, they print them over there. But yeah, like I talk a lot about a lot of these things that are showing up in your chart. So that's kind of why I said that. One thing, so actually before I'm just flipping through this book, and one thing I randomly fell on the Moon and Pisces page, and I randomly looked at this paragraph. It says, in the real world, unfortunately, you not always have an easy time. You tend to let your emotions get the better of you, though you seem confident and completely in charge, especially if your sun is in a fire sign. Fuck, this is made for you. You have a weakness for letting those with strong wills and definite opinions lead you onto unsuitable paths. So you see, it's that boundaries thing, like, because you'll come off as this very Leo person, but they don't know about that Pisces moon that's sensitive. So people might say things to you, right, and expect that they wouldn't affect you, but they might affect you. So that's tough, right? It's like, how do you let people know that you have this other side? Because Leo is pride. Leo is very prideful, right? And my answer is creativity. That's one of them, but just really just doing whatever the fuck you want, and just doing what you want, and not giving a shit, because you have your Jupiter in Aquarius, which makes you the ultimate I do what I want, like I don't give a shit about what other people think of me type energy, right? It makes you kind of just, like it can make you a bit eccentric, especially Sun opposite Uranus. Like you'll be someone that's definitely very rebellious, very independent, very rebellious, wants to live life on their own, in their own way, and make their life their life is their artistic creation. So also, your romantic emotionalism is not always apparent on the surface. For you, try to keep this part of your nature well hidden. However, even the most pragmatic person with the Moon in Pisces feels the need to escape into a world of private imagination. So this is huge. This is another thing I have to fucking tell you, my friend. I have a girlfriend. She's downstairs right now. She's in her room. I'll turn the camera on for this. She's in her room. I have a thing where I don't like, well, actually, it's actually like more like a physical thing, because I actually like can't sleep with other people. But I also have a huge thing for space. I like having my area, and I like her having her area. And then we spend time together and we do things together, but we each have our own kind of routine. I have a big enough apartment to where like I can kind of have my area up here, and sometimes she comes up here, and sometimes she stays in her area. It's better, because for me as a Pisces with a Sag moon, very similar to you, with Leo rising, with Aquarius, Sun, Mars, and Venus, which it's different, but it's similar, right? Your Pisces moon gives you this huge need for space in relationships. And you'll find that you'll have better success in relationships where you can be very, very honest with your communication about your emotions. And maybe even this reading, I don't know, if you were aware of this stuff before this reading, applause. But like, I didn't know about this in my life and I was like shocked when I like really like realized the magnitude of like, holy fuck, I have like a literal two personalities. Like I have like one part of me that wants to sit inside and meditate all day, and another part of me that wants to just go fucking party and just like travel the world and meet everyone and be that Leo motherfucker that I am, Where are we at? So, okay, as a Moon and Pisces person, you are artistic and have a keen love for beauty and the arts. Acting, writing, composing, painting are good. Gifted with vision and imagination, you express yourself well in creative areas. It is through the senses and emotions rather than the intellect that you perceive things. You are extraordinarily intuitive and sometimes are gifted with psychic vision. You seem able to strip away the veil that separates the real world from the spiritual world and to know things that others cannot comprehend, which is exactly another thing about you, is that you have that, right? And you might bring it up to people who might just see you as that Leo, right? Not that mystic. And they might be like, huh? What'd you say? And that might be kind of hard for you to have friends that like are authentic friends, right? Not just friends that like only fit the Leo side, which is a huge part of you, you know? So yeah, then it's just talking about like the escapism and love as in the rest of your life. You prefer I spoke about this earlier. You prefer the illusion to the reality. You need to hear this. You need to hear this. It is the wild passion, the feeling of being swept away that you desire. Your most favorite life moments are when you feel the euphoria of love enveloping your entire being. That's not what I expected. You are a romantic addict. Okay, that is it. And many Moon Pisceans who drift from affair to affair keep wanting to experience the fabled glow of love as a form of psychological escapism. You're a romantic who will do everything you can to make a mate happy. It's your nature to do this, even if you do not get an equivalent return from that other person. Watch out for that last sentence. Even if you do not get a return from that other person. With Mars in Libra, which can make you, Mars and Libra, they can definitely be super indecisive. They can also lack the fuck out of boundaries. And they can sometimes be pushovers, especially in love. So watch out for toxic. I don't know your sexual orientations. Toxic people. So at the same time, you feel vulnerable and dependent and build up an elaborate array of defenses to avoid being hurt. However, once you get past playing the role of the victim, you're able to sustain a truly joyful relationship of honesty and depth. Yeah, so it talks about creative imagination, blah, 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 blah. And yeah, we already talked about if your sun is in a fire sign like you, Leo, a Pisces moon gives you dynamic energy, more depth and profundity. More depth. It's literally what the same word as depth. It just means depth in French. Profond. People with this placement have a hypnotic effect on the public. I told you, you have Regulus Venus. We're gonna get into that in a sec. Whatever your sun sign, a Pisces moon gives you a sympathetic heart, an artistic temperament, and a great capacity for doing work that will make a lasting impression. So shout out to that. Anyways, so moving on. Leo rise. Okay, so Mercury, we talked about that. You know, you can be very bold in the way you communicate. Very enthusiastic in your quest for knowledge. Proud of how you learn, how you speak. Learning should be fun with the Mercury and Leo, right? Learning should be fun. It shouldn't feel arduous and annoying. And there can also be this big know-it-all energy. So you have to watch out for that. Now, Venus. Now let's finally fucking talk about the love stuff that I've been kind of holding back on. So first of all, your Venus is on Regulus. So I'm not even going to talk about love here. I'm going to talk about what it means to have. I don't know if you follow me at Jesse Nisson Astro or at Jesse Nisson Astro Remix. That's the account I'm posting on now. The second one, please follow me if you have Instagram. If you go on Instagram on both, do it. No, I'm joking, but I'm sure you found me on Instagram. I mean, where else did you find me? But basically, I made a live the other day with my friend Julian, who is a Babylonian astrologer, and there's 4 fixed stars. Regulus is one of them. These fixed stars, if you have them in a very tight conjunction only, I'm talking like really tight, and you have a very tight one, they can make fame. Now yours, they say it has to be within 0.15. For you, it's, let's see. Let's pull it up. Let's pull it up. So it's 0.18. So it's like pretty damn close. Especially since you were born at 5:15. Like, what if you were really born at 5:18? Is that like accurate as hell? Maybe they were just counting every 15 minutes. Regulus, Venus. What does it have to say? Regulus is the star. So Venus, you know, obviously, I was not expecting that. Trouble through love affairs, many disappointments, unexpected happenings. That's on the love side, though, right? But Venus also rules what we create, you know, and when, you know, it can make one famous for their Venusian pursuits, for their, you know, it can make one famous for, you know, if they do use their free will to create art, it can create, you know, make them the king or queen of that, right? One second though. So, oh wow. So it says, with these two in conjunction, Regulus is the lion's heart, the star of the Leo constellation, symbolizes courage, bravery, boldness, honor, strength, and victory. The influences are amplified. Spells and rituals involving boldness and love, courage to pursue one's desires, victory in obtaining wealth and employment, improving one's look/beauty, power to subdue one's enemies, embracing new sensory experiences, and any combination of the listed traits will prosper under this conjunction. And it says Venus conjunct Regulus means you have the ability to heal others with your love and generosity. Just this. You're fierce and dominating in relationships. So this is a better one. Your relationships with others can be tough, and you may experience a lot of disappointments because you give so much. And also, like, you'll really like love, you'll value you'll have like very shiny, like regal, royal relationships. Like you'll really value them. Your relationships are intense and healing. You're extremely caring and loyal. It also indicates your potential for fame and success. I'm assuming your Venus is in the first house, so you may be very popular and well known. What a great job! I don't know what fucking site. Not Tumblr, it's Tumblr. Okay, so that was a really good one. That was kind of a really good one. Yeah, I like that. I like that. I like that. So now let's get into like, so that's that. So you should definitely be creating. I mean, Pluto's in your fifth house. Pluto in your fifth house means like you're meant, like in past lives, you were held back from actually creating and being able to be in a position where you can like create. And in this life, you're meant to take a creative risk on yourself. Like you're meant to really go out there and like you have a powerful need to express yourself creatively, right? There can also be this obsessive need for attention, so you have to be aware of that also, and beware and be aware. And also, if you have children, watch out for being overly dominant on them, because there might be some like kind of like, God, fucking fruit flies piss me off, like karma with kids. So okay, I was going to talk about Venus square Pluto. So Venus square Pluto, basically it's like this. I'll lay it down for you like this. When you have Venus square Pluto, you tend, especially as a Pisces moon, so you're already sensitive, you tend to take all of your shadow, all of like the darkness, which is like really your childhood stuff, right? With your Mars down there in Chiron. So there's like lots of healing that needs to be done or has been or whatever the fuck, I don't know, related to your childhood. But basically it makes it so someone just like loves so intensely in relationships, and that it's very hard for that love to be matched. And when they at its lowest, right? At its lowest, this energy can make someone like like a stalker. I'm joking. I mean, it is true. It can happen, but like it just makes it so like it's pretty much like this. Someone with this aspect, until they learn self-love, they will continue to attract a toxic, dark as fuck type of person that's not good for them and that everyone knows isn't good for them. Once they start to love themselves, I know it sounds fucking cheesy, but it's true because Venus has to do with self-love more than anything. It's like this curse is broken, right? So overall, it complicates the relationships because of the intensity of the feelings, like especially as a Pisces moon. But it could be like, trying to make up for something that wasn't there in childhood in the relationship. So it's like, imagine you have all this like unresolved issues from childhood, and then you get in a relationship, and then somehow they're all, what's the word, like in psychology, they literally just fucking used like an hour ago. They're all displaced. Fucking fruit fly. Fuck you. They're all displaced to the relationship, right? So you meet your shadow through relationships. And it can create this really intense like attraction when you first meet someone. Like you fall deeply in love fast, especially as a Pisces moon, like just a lover, someone who just like, and who can think of all the scenarios, who can create ideas in your head of what she's thinking, what, or he or she is thinking, whatever. I don't know anything about you. So basically, like with age comes the ability to kind of hide the difficult parts. But the whole thing is that there's a need for transformation to get like for like the mutual love to be fulfilled. And that transformation in your case is very linked, very similar to mine, I believe. And that's why I believe that I'm doing this reading for you and hopefully doing more, a follow-up. Hopefully I get to meet you. It's finding your purpose. Once you find, and like I said, I don't know, I was saying earlier, I kind of go on tangents and I stop, but like, I don't know your sexual orientation. I know as a man, like women are attracted to men who know their purpose. So on that, but I'm not going to make that assumption of your sexual orientation. I have no fucking idea. I haven't even looked at the photo. I don't even know your Instagram. I have no idea anything about you. I don't know how it is with in the homosexual community, gay community. I don't know how, if that's like a thing. But yeah, I mean, like, I think anyone really, like, regardless of like sexual orientation, is going to be attracted to someone who understands, who puts what they're doing above any other person, right? Who they found that like their special calling. For me, it's like just astrology, and this is the start of it. Maybe I'll do, I'll have a lot of things I'll do, but this is my, first thing I really loved. And once that's found, that's kind of how you build, or even just like succeeding in some type of way. That's how you build confidence and build respect, self-respect, self-love. And then you're not down to put up with those kinds of bullshits, right? But really what it comes down to with Venus square Pluto is need to dominate and control the relationship because of a fear of being let go. But the key is to use your immense power to positively transform how you give and receive love. And eventually you do see that self-love is the real issue. Some people have this aspect and they don't see that for a really long time before they're old and, you know, whatever. So yeah, like when you learn to love yourself, then that's when the unconditional love will just come and fate will play into your hands. And you have Jupiter in your 7th house, aka the planet of luck, in the part of your chart that rules relationships. So that part has luck. Like I said, before that realization comes, you may be attracted to dangerous partners, those treat you badly. And it's actually a subconscious attraction because of your poor self-image. So yeah. All right. Let's see what else. Yeah, North Node in the 2nd house in Virgo is basically saying how in this lifetime you are meant to make some a little bit like in past lives you've kind of let's just say you've benefited from powerful alliances. You've been a very mystical person who you know was definitely a dreamer, right? Definitely a mystic for sure. Now, North Node in the 2nd house is a quest for you to find your own personal set of values. Now, this goes with your Mars and Libra. Mars and Libra makes you super indecisive, and there's a huge need for Mars and Libra people to find a set of values that they can subscribe to, and then they can make all their decisions off of that, right? And the highest energy of Mars and Libra is to go towards the arts or something of Libra, and also makes you really relationship oriented, right? So yeah, North Node 2nd house. I need to leave behind past life. I guess you could say like mishaps and earn your way in life. You know, earn your way, find the internal values. And Virgo, it's like all about being of service, right? It's getting away from like the tendency to be like a daydreamer. Like there could be a past life tendency where you're like feeling overwhelmed. And you have all this compassion and all this wisdom, but in this life it's like, how can you put that to actual practical use? So let's say you were going to be an astrologer, right? Just for the sake of argument, let's say in past lives you've known a shit ton about astrology, but you just never like turned it into like, I hate using the word business, but your livelihood. You never took it seriously professionally, but you knew a bunch about it. With this North Node, it would indicate, it could be astrology, whatever it is, it's just an easy example. And I've seen other parts of your chart that show that possibility, but it could also be for like psychology or anything spiritual, who knows? It could be anything really. It would be about how can you take those talents and create something out of them. And 2nd house North Node, it means that you're destined and you're meant to make money also, but it's through that personal work. So I talked about Mars in its sign in Libra enough. I mean, the 3rd house, Mars, it gives one a ability to really state their ideas and thoughts very strongly. Yeah, there can be issues with the siblings, but yeah, it's conjunct the IC, so it could speak of like a combative early home environment where you were the one, you may have felt like you were the one who always had to play peacemaker. If that was the case, if there was like a combustive relationship between mother and father. So yeah, and then with Chiron down there, I said it's kind of like similar energy. It's more so about I'm just trying to find something. That energy is more so about that's more so about yeah, like there's definitely pain that you've inherited from childhood. And you know, it's squaring your sun, right? It's squaring your sun. So yeah, it's linked to probably linked to your father. And then the moon, I mean, like, yeah, maybe there was just like a discord between your mother and your father, but you know, you have definitely past life karma with your mother, if that's who your moon is, and probably she's very similar to you, at least that Pisces side. And yeah. So yeah, I wonder if toxic masculinity, I know that word has a weird stigma. I wonder if that plays a role in your life of like having to be tough and not show any weakness and any of that stuff. Like, look, I'm a Pisces and I don't fucking like cry that often. Like I can if I need to, but like I'm not a crier, but like at least I know I can, and I have an Instagram where I talk about anything that comes to my mind, you know, and that's healed me. Writing a book that healed me, and that's kind of similar to what your chart's asking for. But the whole point is that like when I wrote my book, I don't even check I make like $4 or some, I don't even know how, like literally I make like literally like $4 each time I sell a book, you know? And the book sells for 20. So clearly like I don't give a shit of, you know, what like what amount I made from that book. I haven't checked in probably 6 months or so. But the point is that it was such a process for myself, right? For me to write a book, I think it's trippy because I'm curious in 10 years or 20 years, you know, if I ever have kids or if I ever, you know, just in general, like this is like to have a book of like, this is how I thought, this is what I thought was important to write about at this, you know, when I was 29, Saturn return. So that's kind of like the perfect example of Leo, is like the low Leo said, okay, I'm finally getting this message. I should have said this earlier, just everything comes around. Low Leo does things only for views and for applause. High Leo does like high manifestation of Leo does things because, you know, he or she like just wants, just for the sake of doing them, just for the love, just for getting to understand themselves better through it. And that's what your chart is asking. Vertex is also asking for that too. So Neptune the 6th, you know, with Neptune the 6th, I'm just about, oh, my camera's off, god damn it. Fucking camera. Some cats, you should definitely get some cats. Oh, yeah, actually, yeah, Neptune, 6th house rules animals, so, and cats are very Neptunian, so as a Pisces moon, I recommend cats. Best animal in the world, most intelligent animal, most intuitive, and look how sweet this one is. Mika, kiss me. Mika. Mika, give me a kiss. Yeah. Come on. You see? It's your head. Mika. Yeah. Okay, now get out of the way, Mika. So yeah, Neptune the 6th house. I mean, so with your midheaven, we're pretty much done. Like basically that, like you're an entrepreneur. I think you're meant to work for yourself. I mean, you have Saturn in there too. It's in the 9th house. But I think you really want to do something that has meaning. 9th house midheaven. But you'll be very successful, you know, when you do something that is bold, but also like linked to like your true self and to taking that creative risk. Because there's a link between, you know, this 1st house and that midheaven and Aries ruled by Mars in Libra, which makes literally, you know, you could be a writer, or you could be someone that writes like music or creates music, or, you know, anything like creative is like the best for you, I think, you know. But of course, you know, everyone wants to be an artist, and there's a million things you could do. I'm just like, and you definitely have the energy to just try new things is my advice. But yeah, with the sixth house Neptune, it gives someone kind of like a struggle in terms of their everyday life, like for example, like going to like the 9 to 5, like the normal life, right? It's just like not appealing, and it can be very difficult for you to like have a boss and to cope with everyday monogamous life, right? But really, like, it makes you like in your everyday life, my beard, you know, fucking trim, it's getting itchy. Be of service to other people. So that's like, you know, a very good one for like being of service, and your whole chart benefits from that, especially as a Pisces moon. There's nothing that makes that you know, your Pisces moon actually has an emotional need to be of service. Like, you feel connected because Pisces moon is all about oneness too, right? So to experience oneness, you feel that when you're like helping like another person or animals or whatever. I'm not saying like quit your career path and just do that, but like, you know, doing little things. Okay, so Uranus in your 7th house on your descendant with Jupiter there. Okay, let's talk a little bit more about love. So then, okay, before that, you have Juno in conjunct your sun at 0 Libra or Leo. Basically, like, Juno represents your ideal partner, Mars. Okay, so with your love, all your love energy, right? You know, obviously, like, you got a lot in Leo. You're looking for someone who is, you know, adventurous, bold, funny, who has a lot of the same attributes you do, but who also has this this very eccentric, like they are their own person. They're not like a fucking copy of, you know, every other fucking human like so many humans are. Like, they are their own person. And also with the Uranus there, you might seek out like a very unconventional type of relationship. And what I mean by that, I don't, like, you might be thinking, am I talking like what's it called? Like polygamy. I can't even fucking speak. Fuck. Well, obviously I have another word because I'm not that at all. But polygamy. What the fuck is the word? Polygamous. I can't think. But anyways, it's not that. It's more about like it's more about wanting an unconventional relationship and wanting an unconventional person that breaks kind of norms, breaks rules, right? And the fact that it opposes your sun, though, is interesting because it kind of indicates that your relationship can be very unconventional, and it could get in the way of like this, like, Leo sun in the 1st house individualization. So you have to learn to balance that, right? And the best way is by having freedom and space in your relationship. And of course, understanding and communication. Now, Jupiter in the 7th house, I told you this before, in Aquarius, is the ultimate energy of you just being a lucky guy when it comes to meeting the right partners. And you seek to really expand yourself through your partnerships, right? So Aquarius ruling your 7th house, like it rules mine, you know, you're attracted to that energy, to the Aquarius energy. Not saying that you only be attracted to Aquarius people, but more so that you're attracted to people who give you space, who give you freedom, who think differently, who are kind of rebellious. You like that. But then at the same time, you know, you need someone who can understand you on an emotional level. You know, maybe a Pisces sun, maybe someone with a water, you know, a Scorpio moon or a Cancer moon or a Pisces moon also. You know, someone that probably has some water, I would guess. I don't like to give these recipes because there's a million different things that can work, right? And then you have to talk about the composite chart and the synastry and it's a whole other like reading. But yeah, you know, and in Juno in the 1st house, you know, as I said before, in Leo, you really want to be proud of your partner. You want to take pride in them, and you want them to take pride in you. And also you want to have a lot of fun and romance within the relationship, you know, not some boring shit. And it has to be adventurous, right? Yeah. And you may even like feel more able to be yourself when you're in like a supportive relationship, which is like Mars and Libra. I feel like it's kind of like that too. All right. Anyways, we're getting close to the end. Your South Node is conjunct part of Fortune. Damn. So in that basically means that you have a lot of past life gifts, my friend. Past life mystical gifts. So if you haven't meditated, if you haven't like started like really you need to sit down, get a book, get a pen, and just fucking meditate and just write whatever the fuck comes to your head. Like after you're done and just write. Do the Jungian technique. It's called, I don't know what the fuck it's called. Something writing. Try that if you haven't. Just try creative stuff because you have like so many past life talents. And yeah, I told you before, Pisces moon, it's meant to change you. You're meant to transform a lot emotionally. There's going to be lots of different eras in this lifetime for you. I talked about your Saturn. I talked about your MC. And I talked about everything. Did I miss any aspects? Mercury opposite Jupiter. I kind of talked about that, didn't I? Basically, like, that's the same energy of like walking into the casino and thinking you're going to win. It goes right with the fact that your Mercury's conjunct Black Moon Lilith. Yeah. But oh yeah, last thing. You don't have, so you have a lot of fire, obviously. So when you have too much fire, sometimes you need to learn to chill. You need to learn to chill. Like, so to get earth, you meditate or you go hiking, you garden, you shit like that, right? When you don't have earth in your chart, like you don't. When you have too much fire, you need to work out. Martial arts, basketball, football, whatever. I don't care, just running like I do. Just, you need to get that energy out or it's going to be frustrating as hell. Even walking, but you can't be someone who just sits around. It's nothing. You're going to be very frustrated, like literally. You could also have like a super high sex drive with all that fire. You have water with your moon, so you're good there. You're good there with the emotional side, intuition, understanding other people's, like energy, picking up on their energy. But you might be overwhelmed by the energy you pick up from other people. So that's one warning sign to kind of just like spend time alone. Not all the time, but yeah. But you don't have any. And then you have air. You have air with your Mars and Libra, and even kind of Jupiter is kind of like a middle planet. So that gives you the ability to kind of like understand what people are going through, and see like other like more intellectual ability and yeah, stuff like that. Seeing different perspectives and whatnot. But then you lack Earth, just like me, my friend, just like me. So when you lack Earth, I explained to you before, your North Node is in an Earth sign. So your North Node is where you're trying to go. It's like the mountain never climbed in past lives. So literally, this is how I'm going to end the reading. You're literally trying to become a more consistent person with a routine. It doesn't have to be a set routine. I started early tonight. It's only 12:30, and then it's my second reading. They've gone for so fucking long, both of them. But fucking cat hair. What are you saying? But like, you need to have some level of routine. Oh my god, cat hair all over me. So that is extremely important. You need to have some level of routine and some level of grounding, or else like you're just gonna feel lost. And you're not your Pisces moon can go towards addiction. I look like I'm in addiction with the way I'm scratching it. And grounding that split between Pisces and Leo. And we can explore that more. I hope you're able to book a follow-up because there's so much more to go into. I really want to hopefully be able to compare this with your lived experience. But yeah, I'm looking for anything else. Mm-hmm. Oh. Mm-hmm. Oh, I didn't really talk about how you have Sirius conjunct your moon. So Sirius and Pisces. Um, I mean, Sirius and Pisces is like you feel most cared for when, like, when you're feeling that that oneness that I was talking about earlier, right? Um, and it makes you really care for other people and want to relieve their pain. It makes you really compassionate for loved ones. And conjunct your moon, it just makes you this caregiver, this person that you know, wants to help other people and help other people feel comfortable and happy and bring peace to them and nourishment, right? So in the eighth house, though, you feel this nourishment when you experience deep and intense emotions, right? Um, so that could be like from delving into like metaphysical matters or abilities. Um, you know, it could even be like working in some type of way where you're like caring for people who are dying, you know, like in a hospice type thing. That's a very eighth house thing. Or it could be something related to like finding some comfort in sexual experiences, even like taboo. The eighth house rules like kind of like taboo sexual relation, like it's a very sexual, like soul binding kind of sex. Anyways, that's it. Hope you enjoyed. I went way over time, but uh, this was a great reading, and let me know about the follow up at Jesse Innocent Astro and at Jesse Innocent at Jesse Innocent Astro remix. Message me on the remix one, just for for a while, and I highly suggest getting both of those readings. And I will give you a great price for both if you book both together, or regardless, I will anyways. Okay. Thank you so much. Talk to you later. Bye bye.